Still love the intro.
Love it every time.
I don't know why it fucking hits.
Slaps.
Yeah, that's the word I'm
we
looking
need,
for.
that's what you say. Diplo or somebody like that can do it for us.
Why can't we get Above and Beyond to do our intro?
Yeah, our Above and Beyond. Yeah, exactly.
Guys, can you do our intro?
Please. Somebody knows somebody.
I'll send you like the
accent.
first,
First dish.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll give you something.
Book. The first edition.
I'll give you a book. Yeah. I hope.
Signed book.
Yeah. If you guys want to sponsor our podcast, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll play.
Yeah.
We'll promote it. We listen to it. We're fans.
We're huge fans.
Yeah.
They're all about unity.
I have the di.fm thing that I listen to here all the time, and they have Above and Beyond channel.
They're literally.
And I just play it, and it just streams like while I'm working.
They're all about unity.
Yeah. All of Tartle's marketing was built off of
What's that song by Above and Beyond? Love Is All You Need?
Yeah.
Great song.
Yeah. It's true.
Really great fucking song.
So I want to understand this word. There's a word in one of our creational laws, and it sounds like something from one of those Hobbit shows.
It does. Well, it sounds
like a guy with a big beard, and he's got a cane, or he's a wizard or something.
Yeah, that's most German. So why is the word German? Right. There's a very old language on this planet called Lyran.
Yes,
and from Lyran, split off to Celtic, and German, and then Minoan, and then Minoan to Greek, Hebrew, all that other stuff. So there's this like one root language really in the European area where a lot of things spread from, outside of things that you find from like Sanskrit in India of the sort, old languages. And a word that exists, which is pretty much typical in the German language, is one that doesn't really have a direct English translation, because English is a shit language. And it doesn't do a good job of expressing ideas, emotions, anything of the sort with the amount of exactness that you can find from something like German or Sanskrit. So the word is called Gewalt. And this episode here is back on our creational law teachings, but we want to just go over, in brief, what the law of the following of the Gewalt is. And Gewalt, in the simplest way to understand it here in English, is like a force or a might. Okay, it's like a physical or mental pressure or force. I don't know really how to describe it. So say you are, there's like a group decision that's going on in the office, and you do not agree with what's occurring, but the pressure of the group's thought is weighing onto you. You can almost feel this mental pressure. Gewalt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Or Gewalt in the sense where it's something highly physical. You're literally, someone's restraining your free will. They're literally physically pressuring you or inhibiting you or putting a force or a might against you. Going into combat, anything, it doesn't matter what it is. It's like this immense rush of force that happens. I mean, you've seen it. You've been in combat. Mm-hmm. You know when like the whole group just pushes in like a full battalion and just starts like wiping an area?
Mm-hmm.
Gewalt. It's hard to describe unless you get the full.
It's like we were able to see Iraq War and stuff like that. We were able to actually watch it on television. Like for the first time, we could see war being televised.
Yeah,
and you could see like the shock and awe.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking of. Like just mass amounts of bombs just bombarding, just poof,
and it's brutal.
Yeah,
and it could literally be with thought. It could be like through news cycles, or it can be through like war. Mm-hmm. It's this crazy, brutal, straightforward, completely pinpointed execution of force. Does that make sense? That's the best way I can translate what this word means.
Is it negative oriented?
No.
Okay. Because we're talking all negative, it seems like.
Okay. So I know it seems like that, but that's how humans use Gewalt today. Mm-hmm. They use power to do bad things rather than power for good. Now, if we drop back to the law of equality, right?
Right.
And then the law of protection and the law of elimination, if you pair those things together, well, then that naturally leads into this thing called the law of Gewalt. That sort of brutal execution of force needs to have a rational counteraction to it. So if a country comes in to do that to you, or a person in a relationship, or you need to defend yourselves, that force needs to be equalized, that brutal force. So you have to follow through. Gewalt can only be counteracted with more Gewalt. It's the only way to stop it.
So let's take it from a spiritual standpoint. So if mass amounts of people begin to meditate, and then there began to develop this collective consciousness on the planet. Yes. I'm talking of millions and millions of people meditating and doing it at the same times. And all of a sudden that you would have a gavalt of consciousness kind of, because it would literally shift the planet into fourth density.
Yeah.
So that would be like what you're talking about. Like this law would just, it would be that shift.
It's a massive
momentum.
It is a level of might and force that is incalculable. It's so severe, so fast sweeping, so precise. So this is why the English language sucks, right? Because I'm trying to.
It's everything you're saying is negative words in the English language. You know what I mean?
I know, and it's hard to.
But there's so Gewalt doesn't have a negative or a positive connotation. It just is.
It's just
a force.
But it is just so fucking powerful.
Hey, Star Wars.
Correct.
It's just the force.
It's just a force.
And that force can be used for good or bad, and it's super powerful.
Correct. And so you need to follow through that if there is a use of this force, it needs to be equalized to counteract it.
That makes sense.
You can't take something that is so powerful, so mightful, so forceful, and you sort of like some pansy sort of like second grade, I got to defend against it. No, it has to be met with its own energy.
So do you think, because I want to make sure I'm very clear on this. So whether it's a country invading another country and we have war, that's the Gewalt, the force of the mass amounts of in Germany, they called it Blitzkrieg. Right?
Yeah, correct.
And that was that was just like a bunch of meth.
But it's negative.
Yeah. It's
negative. Meth, hopped up on meth, going in, shooting
just
stuff.
Going crazy.
But how are you going to stop that?
So is it kind of like an offensive? It's like you taking the offense instead of being in the defense.
If you're using Gewalt in a negative sense, right? You're being offensive to do damage to something. Well, then you, as the person trying to protect, remember the law of protection, need to match that force, that might, equally to counteract it. You can't half-ass it.
So if someone nukes us, then we would need to nuke them. I mean, that would cause nuclear destruction.
In that sort of sense, right? That's not the balance.
Right.
That's a complete wiping out. That's pure elimination of everything. Then you go against the law of unity and oneness.
Right.
Right? Because everything's gone. You've disunified things.
So if you have somebody breaking into your house and they're using force.
Yes.
Now, the only thing it's going to hurt is that one person.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
But
to eliminate that force.
Yeah, correct. So you have to give equal force to get that thing back out. Okay. If the force goes in, force needs to be pushed back out.
So let's take it from a metaphysical, spiritual sense in the sense of our higher self. So our higher self obviously has an infinite amount of Gewalt.
Yeah. Think about it as like this elemental strength.
And when you do, when you awaken your Kundalini energy and all that stuff, you obviously it changes your nervous system and blah, blah, blah. We've all watched Guy episodes and all that stuff. and then everybody gets on their ego and like, why I've had a Kundalini shift and now I'm, I'm spiritually enlightened or whatever, and so it's really interesting to me when you look at that, like that energy, and I'm not talking about these people, I'm just saying in general, that energy that has been laying dormant, let's say, and then it shifts, that's Gewalt.
Yeah, but it's pure.
Yes.
It is like pure fucking energy, like as high as it gets.
Right.
Guess what you got to do? You got to counteract it with more of it. If it's being used for the negative, you have to come in and defend against it. I hope that's clear.
Yeah.
So it's like Jason, there's combat and protection, right?
Right.
But those aren't like super strong forces you're dealing with. I want you to just imagine the most powerful thing you can ever possibly imagine. It's force that is just so difficult. It's almost impossible physically to overcome it.
Yeah. So it'd be like Brad Pitt as, who was he on the movie? We had the spear and he stabbed the guy.
Troy.
Yeah. And Troy. Yeah. So it's like, film. It's just that pure energy. It's pure force.
Yeah. It's so elemental.
It just is like this one guy just caused the whole army to collapse.
Think about it like the sensation that you would get of like a tsunami wiping out the land.
That makes sense.
So elemental. Yes. It's so raw.
Everything looks like sticks.
Correct.
Like the buildings, like cars are just flying everywhere.
So that's when Gewalt gets used for the negative.
Or tornado.
So if you need to combat against that, you need something of equal strength.
Well, it's not negative. It's just it's nature, because it just is what it is.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's so hard in English to get this fucking point across.
I think that's that, because the tsunami is just acting in nature. It's not like, oh my God, let's not kill this person.
But what is it doing? If we're fucking the planet up,
100%. Yeah.
If we're blowing up nukes and it's disrupting our plate structures and creating more volcanic activity and more tsunamis, what does nature do? Counteracts with the same amount of elemental might that you were using to destroy things.
Because it's trying to protect itself.
Exactly correct.
Yeah, that's where I was.
And it's so big, so powerful, you're like, it's like it takes your breath away.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that a good enough example?
No, I've done that. The Grand Canyon did that to me. It actually kind of scared me because I got kind of close to the edge, and then you look down and it's so vast.
Yes.
That it's like, you almost get like vertigo. And then I felt, my legs kind of felt shaky, and I kind of felt unstable.
So
because, and then it's like the allness of the canyon, because canyon is being the canyon, but the allness of it just took over my physical body.
Right.
Do you know what that makes sense? So I had to back away because I was afraid I would fall.
No, I'm glad you say that, because it's an overwhelming thing. I was out in the Grand Canyon, and some aspects I'm an idiot, some things I'm smart. I went out. I don't have the picture here. I don't know why it's showing up. And you're right. It's huge. It's high up. It's breathtaking. It's just like the elemental existence of nature.
It was so powerful. It made me unstable. Let's say that.
Right. So when I went out on the edge, actually, this was stupid. I jumped across to like a free floating rock area, like a pylon. The dogs were worried. They understood like the risk in what I was doing, and it was stupid.
So when a dog's worried, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
And people don't even go to the other edge. And I got a couple screws loose, I guess, but there's a sensation out there of like isolation,
right,
and being there like with nature when I did it. But when the animal is like, that's fucking scary. Like, don't do that. You start to feel like that force, that massiveness, the power of just nature itself, and it's not even moving.
Yeah, and you could have been on that ledge and called your dogs to you. One of them may have came.
Wouldn't have done it.
But there would be a lot of hesitation.
Oh, yeah.
And they may have trusted in you and died.
Yeah.
Or made it, one of the two.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously you can jump there, then probably a dog could jump there.
Yeah, you should see that. We got to.
But if a dog's kind of getting shaky.
Yes.
That the bridge here did that to me too, kind of. Now I kind of get
Rio Grande?
Yeah, even at the Sandias, when you look down, you stand on the ledge.
Yes.
I used to be pretty daredevil, but the older I've gotten, I'm not so much anymore. But the Grand Canyon took it out of me. Like that awe and power.
The risk isn't
disabled me. You know what I mean? It like made me like, because then when your legs get shaky, and everybody's had the experience of this, when your legs get shaky, it's just like, okay, I could just fall over right now.
At literally at any time, and you're just like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not worth the gram.
So no, it's not. It's not worth the gram. And I didn't really do it for the photo,
right?
But Amanda did take a photo of me while I was out there, and I was like, I got to get the fuck off of this thing, because you are secure, but you like have these things around you, and you're like, well, why do I feel insecure now? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you're going against the laws of nature in play.
Yeah,
it's like, gravity is going to hit you somehow.
It always is going to hit.
But I was shocked. I didn't expect it to be that vast.
It's fucking enormous.
It's like, well, like those guys, and I don't know how they do it, but those guys in these big skyscrapers, that walk on the ledge and stuff, and then jump to the next ledge. I mean, that's basically what you're doing. But it's like, how do you, like, even now, my palms are sweaty, bro.
Just thinking about it?
Yeah, my palms are sweaty.
I'm thinking twice about it, and when I reflect on it, I would never do that again.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
You know what I mean?
Learn a lesson.
I'll have to show you the photo, but hopefully we got the point across here with this other creational law about Gewalt. It's just beyond what normal force is. It's just something, it's just so large, so powerful, so exact. Again, it's all going to sound negative, but there's no other way to explain it.
But I mean, I think people get it.
I hope they do.
I think they understand it. Creational laws are all on our website, higherdensidyliving.com. You can click under resources and see the creational law page, and you'll be able to see all of these. And we encourage people to study them.
100%.
And we'll be doing more and more. We've done them all just about. We've got the law of temporal and spatial existence we're going to do next.
And then the law of love.
And then the law of love, which we'll probably do a couple episodes on the law of love.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
That'll offset this supposedly Gewalt. Any German word, just automatically. I always think of what's the movie?
Which one?
With the Nazis? That
Glorious
Quentin Tarantino.
Bastards.
Yeah, I always think of that.
Good film, by the way.
Great film. Yeah. Anything Quentin Tarantino does. He's doing a TV series.
What? What is it?
You know, everybody's like HBO and all of them, Apple and Amazon. How much are they going to bid for that TV series?
Oh, it's going to be nuts.
Because he's going to do one more movie, and then he said he's kind of done. But he wants to play around in these series because the series are like, if they're 10 episodes, that's 10 hours. It's way better than a film. Like Game of Thrones to me.
Better than
what are you going to
movie.
find? What are you going to find better than Game of Thrones?
It's literally better than any other movie.
I mean, Fight Club's pretty good.
It's a good film.
Yeah, Troy's pretty. I mean, a lot of Brad Pitt stuff. But I mean, like, it's like, what are you going to find better than, like, if you did the Troy series, if you'd have done 10 hours of Troy, easily be able to watch it. Oh. It was too short, the movie.
No, it wasn't. It was not enough.
Yeah, and so
do you know my grandfather? he was a really good historian, especially about like Greek culture, and read a couple books on it, and also was like some like world specialist on fucking Greek pottery. I didn't even know this until after he died. So he would always go to the movies to watch these historical films, and Troy was the only movie he didn't walk out of. He said it was literally that good. The accurateness of it, plus the Hollywood spin, he enjoyed it that much.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Even like 300, and that wasn't probably accurate, but
no. And
it's the whole Spartan thing and all that.
I've literally seen Troy. I can't even tell you how many times. So good.
But that Persian army would be like Gewalt.
That's correct. That's exactly correct. Yeah.
It's just on so many people you can't even imagine.
No, it's just.
And you would be as a 300 looking at that and being like, there's hundreds of thousands of troops.
Yeah, we're so fucked. You know what I mean?
But we're going to go out dying anyway. We're Spartans.
We're going to do it anyway. Everybody, that is the law of the falling of the Gewalt. And please join us again for our next episode on the law of temporal and spatial existence.